2024 is here, which means a packed schedule of FA Cup, AFCON and, of course, Premier League action. Beat the January Blues and watch every game with the atmosphere it deserves down at your local Green King Sports pub. Don't settle for a dodgy stream. If it's on the telly, it's on at your local Green King across their huge HD screens. If you download the Green King Sports app, you'll also receive 10% off every single drink whenever there's a game on. Their venues offer a range of low and non-alcohol options, so dry January doesn't mean you have to settle for an inferior sports watching experience. Welcome to the 1878 FM podcast, episode 23. Myself, Ped, and the gorgeous David Fitty. Great hair.
Who, me or you or Ped? I mean, I think...
You, great hair. Ped's got good hair.
No, my hair's a mess.
I mean, it looks like you need a brush, but it's good hair.
It's windswept.
It is windswept. It is windy.
Been on the moors.
What storm is it now, Jacob? Is it something?
Dave.
Stop.
Jocelyn. Jocelyn is the latest.
Jocelyn, is it? There you go. Jocelyn.
Why did he come out with... Why can't it just be like, Storm Jane?
Maybe that's why.
Guns a bit windy. Because Storm Jane.
Maybe that's...
I've had the Storm of Jane in my life.
There you...
Bitch.
Listen. Oh, okay. We are after the 1 o'clock watershed. That's fine.
You can say that.
Well, maybe. There's an upbeatness in... I can feel an upbeatness. It's a Friday.
I wonder why.
Honestly, recording on a Friday is the way forward.
Well, you say that, Dave. But the upbeatness, it isn't for that reason, but we might as well reference it in a minute.
Yeah.
But the upbeatness is.
Yeah.
And I know, I admit I'm saying this with still 3 hours and 50 minutes left of Friday to go, but Everton haven't seemed to have been a disaster story all week. It's a week. Yeah. A week where we haven't been hit with any, and I'm saying it lowering my voice. No, injuries you can't do anything about. We'll get onto that in a minute. But
no,
you know what I mean?
Let's not tempt fate.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Somebody even tried to make a bad story about us yesterday, and we sort of just shrugged it off. The one about the electricians at Bramley.
Oh yeah, there was nothing.
And
we're like Teflon this week. We just bounce it off.
There's loads, but you see stuff, don't you, you see stuff on social, and half the time you're just not even sure whether it's, I see stuff and it's just made up bollocks the whole time. And it's almost like they're just trying to, somebody's there just trying to give us a kick in. We haven't had one for 3 or 4 days. Somebody comes and puts the boot in. There was a thing the other day about a transfer bloody ban and all this kind of stuff. And on one hand, they were saying that we were going to get our points reduced to 6, and then we were going to get some more, and then there was a transfer ban, and by the end of it you just say, oh, do you know what, I don't care anymore. Not that I don't care anymore, but I don't care about the article anymore. It's just like bored now.
Do you know what the problem, Ped, is this the problem, that we have had that many kick-ins and there's a lot of stuff around that now people can say whatever, no one, there'll be a right, even if there's no truth in it. You start to go, oh, is there something?
No, there is definitely, because fan bases, all football fan bases are so reactive now. That's what clickbait was literally invented for, wasn't it? To get reactions. I better click on this. I better see what's going on. The problem with social media is, half the time you see a story pop up on your feed, and it's about 3 weeks old anyway. Yeah. You're like, why? What happened to social media being the next thing? You go on things like Facebook, you see messages that are days and days old.
You see it on it. You see a transfer story come out, and then a couple of days later, a different account puts the same news out, and everyone jumps on it and retweets it. And
you go, it goes round in a circle.
Yeah, you go, that was out a couple of days. These haven't just broke it. That was out 2 days earlier by this. We had the thing with the young American lad who's been on trial at Everton, or come from Philadelphia Union. Someone who's connected to that put that out a week before, and then other people ran with it a week later, and it was like,
maybe they should start tagging us in it then.
That wasn't, you know what I mean?
The oracles.
Exactly.
No, because
exactly, Dave. Say that what it is.
It wasn't our story.
The oracles.
It wasn't our story. Someone else has put it out.
We could have stole it like many others.
No, we don't want to.
They want to be talking to the organist, not the monkey grinder.
Exactly.
But that happens right across it, and then you've got the flip side to that, where there's accounts that have literally just make stuff up. And people go, have you seen what Marcel Brands said about his time when he went in to try and buy... he's gone in and he's agreed to deal with Mbappe, but Mashiri went, no, we're getting Neil Maupay instead. And it's just a black quote.
We can't have Mbappe because Anthony Gordon's in such good form.
And he's a family member. But that's, you do see
They chased him down the street, for God's sake, on a bedsheet, on a bedsheet.
Yes, but did anyone ever, for me, no one's peaked the Peter Johnson time when he drove off and that fan got on the back of the car and just held on like that. You can have bedsheets all you want until you've ridden freestyle on the back of Peter J's car. Then you're not chasing someone out the club properly.
Do you sometimes think, Dave, that you've missed part of this culture of growing up in the city and all the disturbances that it brings you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's never quite the same, is it? You know, it's you're not party to all of the ins and outs, and obviously, I just get what I'm fed here, don't I? For the most part.
Well, listen, you get fed by the right people, Dave. That's all you need to know.
You're almost like a yak, Dave. You just get fed. And you're just there to put it away.
Well, I would never bite your hands
on an island.
Feed me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Especially not having your roof after having your roof fixed.
That's it.
You know,
that's it.
Plain sailing.
Plain sailing.
With all these storms to bring it back.
Yeah. And he likes his sailing. And he likes his bike rides as well. There is. Well, I'm just thinking of his Instagram when he's on his paddle board.
Started running again. I've seen.
Running, bikes. He's basically an Iron Man, isn't he?
Not really.
Paddleboarding, cycling,
running. I think is a grand title for what is essentially a bit of a plod. But if I can plod for an hour or so, then I think that's all right.
Good.
You know, that's decent. That's my little health check. 7 miles, something like that. 11K. That'll do me.
Nice.
Don't play it down. That's very good. Very good.
Does me.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, yeah. We will get back onto Everton in a minute, but we're recording this at the time when some very sad news has drifted across the winds of Merseyside.
There's been a disturbance in the force.
We know there's Storm Jocelyn. There's also Storm Jürgen, which could have been the J.
Absolutely.
On Merseyside, there's a lot of
well, the tears.
There's a lot of tears apparently on radio, so people are crying. I mean, I've had 3 different messages sent to me, playing me clips of people crying. Jürgen Klopp isn't dead. Jürgen Klopp has told Liverpool he will be leaving at the end of the season. But Dave, is that a bit of a shock, the news today?
Is it a bit of a shock? Yeah, I suppose so. Am I that bothered about it? No.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, only in so much as an hour or so ago, before now, at the time of recording, which is lunchtime on Friday.
It is.
I saw loads of mentions of Klopp come up on social media and also on WhatsApp groups and things without any detail on the story. And I kind of thought, oh, what's happened? You know, is he dead? But he's not. And yeah, he's leaving at the end of the season, which obviously is destabilizing, I think is the word, for the club and for the fans as a whole. Who takes over? He will be a hard act to follow. I mean, this sounds like a kind of eulogy, doesn't it? But I mean, but yeah, no, listen, he will be a hard act to follow. He's done well there. They're obviously uncertain times for the red side of Merseyside, and we will see who they end up with. Early favourites is Xabi Alonso, I believe.
Yeah, big Xabi.
Yeah.
I mean, Paddy, all joking aside, he's obviously one of Liverpool's best ever managers. He's overseen their return to the top table, hasn't he, in all fairness, whether we like it or we don't. So it'd be difficult replacing him on it anyway, regardless of how good the candidate is coming in. He'd be a difficult man to replace.
He'll be, yeah. I'm devastated.
You see me?
Do you know what? It just literally reminded me of when I was in school. And I just remember someone... It's mad, isn't it? Things you remember. I remember vividly, though, someone running over to me and going, have you heard the news? Have you heard the news? Kenny's leaving. And it just like almost hit me like the same. Like, because and I'll be honest, I can't even remember when Howard Kendall left us the first time, like as in like an announcement and anything. But I remember that vividly. I remember some like people like seeking me out at dinner time to tell me.
The day after we knocked out the FA Cup,
yeah.
As well, Dave Watson.
No, it was a surprise.
It is a bit like that, though, to be fair, because obviously that came mid-season, didn't it? And this is obviously, apparently he told Liverpool in November he was leaving, but this has been hinted at a few times, though, in his reign. There was uncertainty whether he'd stay. And now at Dortmund, after about 5 or 6 years, he got out. It just come to the end of it, and he has sort of mentioned a couple of times he wouldn't be at Liverpool for the long term.
Well, yeah. So. Well, I was watching the Pep documentary the other night, and he was, obviously leaving Barcelona, and Bayern Munich was different because he left for Manchester City. But when he left Barcelona, it feels like the same thing. People they can't do it because they give absolutely everything to it now. It's
and this will be City soon, won't it?
Yeah, they will be City soon. If there's any comfort for Liverpool fans, if you want any comfort, Pep won't be able to go forever because it is a job that burns people out. You only have to look at Everton managers after 6 months of the job. They go from looking like young Palpatine to the Emperor in Star Wars very, very quickly. They just look dishevelled. Frank Lampard the other day, I didn't even recognise him on that podcast he did with Gary Neville. He just looks like
smiling.
The smile was the giveaway.
You could see it, yeah. I mean, Roberto Martinez had hair, and about 3 weeks later, he didn't have any.
That's true. Yeah.
David Moyes went from ginger to grey.
Very much so.
It's only really Carlo that didn't age.
No, because he's just cool.
Supreme, isn't he? I mean, even Sean...
He was grey anyway, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, he was all right. Sean Dyche it'd be difficult to age him because his hair's so short anyway, and he's got the goatee, so I think he'd be okay. Poor Marco Silva looked great when he came in, didn't he? And by the end, he looked like, and he's rejuvenated now, Fulham. So, yes, there you go.
The water of the Thames. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Drink a pint of that a day.
I don't know whether you want to drink it.
That's what they say.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't advise that, and this isn't to anyone who's thinking of doing that. Ped doesn't have any kind of health background that he could advise you to drink. Anything.
None. I haven't, but so a lot of people don't either.
Okay, again, we're back on social media with those made-up things again. Dave, back to Everton. It is FA Cup, 4th round weekend.
Yep.
Bournemouth had the joy of the Thursday night game last night.
They took advantage.
Imagine sitting at Goodison at half-time and you're 5-0 up. Imagine. But Luton Town, Dave, difficult game?
Yes. I mean, difficult game. They're all difficult games. Any Premier League tie is going to be tough. But winnable also. Having a home tie is what it's all about. I think we should be fairly happy. And listen, as they always say, if you can't, you've got to beat these teams somewhere along the line. So why not now?
Do you think this is an opportunity, Dave, to keep building that little bit of momentum? Obviously, Everton are currently unbeaten in 2024, but Sean Dyche is keen to improve Everton's home form and try to build, start making it a place that people don't like coming to again. And beating Crystal Palace last time out at Goodison, obviously drew with Aston Villa. Is this an opportunity for Everton to beat not only a team who they're battling with at the wrong end of the league at the minute, but just get, start making Goodison a bit more, I want to use that word fortress because it's anything but making it a more difficult place for opposition?
Yes, but it is a double-edged sword, as always, isn't it? In so much as, yes, momentum and confidence and feel good is all positive and certainly has a major effect on a team and a club and a fan base. However, the downside of that is the fact that we haven't got the biggest squad, and it potentially is another game and then another game depending on what happens on Saturday, which could then result in injuries. So that's the flip side of the whole thing. So I think you need to weigh the whole thing up. Yes, I'm happy that we're still in the cup. Yes, I hope that we beat Luton tomorrow. Yes, I hope that we progress and we get a decent draw in the next round. But if push came to shove, if it was a case of do we want a cup run or do we want to keep our most important players fit for the rest of the league campaign, then you know what the priority is.
I mean, Ped, it is a tricky game. You had the news earlier on this week yesterday now, wasn't it? From Sean Dyche saying that Andre Gomez is now out. Abdoulaye Doucouré is longer term, which we know is probably going to well, looks potentially like it's at least another week or so before he's considered, and Everton have got 3 games in that time. And we're heading towards the transfer window shutting, which is on Wednesday. There was a slight change I felt from Sean Dyche in the press conference in terms of players coming in.
Yeah.
I think he did seem a bit more open to that. And I think reading between the lines of a couple of articles, Everton are actually looking at trying to bring 1 or 2 bodies in, but also looking to maybe get someone like Ben Godfrey out. So is that news that like the Core's out, Gomez is out, Coleman's not quite ready? Does that hasten Everton's need to bring players in? Because it is worrying, isn't it?
It's got to, hasn't it? Because, like, just taking what Dave was saying there, I think we've got a team for Saturday. You know what I mean? That's it. We've got a team, and we'll have a team for Fulham. I don't know.
No surplus, so is there?
There's not much. There's no variation, is there at all? Like, and that, of course. I think you always hear managers talk about bringing players in who've got to be better than what you already got. I think we just have to bring bodies in. I think we need a couple in
to get us
who
through.
could just like sit on the bench and aren't necessarily better than anyone we've already got, but but are better than maybe some of the kids on the bench. Yeah, I think that's the way we should.
Is it important though that one of them is not? I'm not saying like game changers, because I just don't think we're in that market right now. Are we just where we are? But got to be someone who can give the manager an alternate, though, hasn't it? Surely.
I think someone like Dan Juma, but who actually worked hard.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a nasty way. I just mean someone who actually fits what Sean Dyche wants. And has got a little bit something about him, but isn't like an absolute worldie of a player, or someone you go, oh, we've beaten this team. I think there must be players out there who are not playing for their teams or whatever. There might be an issue somewhere that we could get in for the rest of the season, who would work hard for the team, could come off the bench and add something. They mightn't be better. Say they're a winger. They mightn't be better than Dwight McNeil. They mightn't be better than Harrison, or in a central position they might be better than Corey. But someone who can actually just play there.
But
that's what we're missing, aren't we?
Did you see yesterday Ismail Sarr's up for loan? Yeah. Now he would be, and Everton have looked at him a few times, and obviously Watford have priced him out. Yeah. But he's available for loan now. Someone like him, I don't know what the figures are. I don't know, but someone like him who can play wide but also play through the middle. I think it'd be I don't know whether Everton could get him, but someone like that I think it'd be perfect, because there is some around. Some of these names are popping up. Not clubs are prepared to let go on loan. There is some.
Come on, Dave.
Around.
There must be someone in the EFL. You've got the contacts.
You've got the contacts, Dave.
Can I have a bit of time on that?
Of course you can.
Identify some potential sources. In terms of Ben Godfrey, I can only assume that this is to do with balancing wages on a weekly basis, because if it weren't for that, I don't think we can afford to let him go at the minute.
Oh, I'd let him go. Without an issue.
Because I just think we still need cover, don't we?
I think we need cover, Dave. But do you know what's weird? You look at our bench. We've got 2 centre backs. We've got like 3 attacking players, and then we've got like nothing in the middle. And I think I'd take the calculated gamble of, because to me, and I think this is the way I look at it now, is this like 10 million quid just sitting on the bench and earning a hell of a lot of money and never playing. But
hang on, we're talking about loan deals though here, aren't we, as opposed to a sale? Is that not?
But I'd sell him if I could. Genuinely.
No. Well, but hang on, that's a different. Okay. I'm talking purely on the loan front.
Well, maybe.
If we're selling and we can actually get decent money for him. We paid 25 though, didn't we?
Right, about 20-ish, yeah. You're absolutely right.
If it's a sale and it can put 10-15 million pounds or whatever in the coffers, which for us is a lot of money and is important, then that's one thing. If it's just a case of loaning out till the end of the season, that was my point. In so much as yes, other than balancing weekly wages, and I don't know how tight that scenario is. If that is crucial, then yeah. But if otherwise, I just think that we're so thin.
We are, yeah.
I'd be tempted to keep him.
I think it is. They are trying to sell him, and therefore that's why it makes sense. Like I think you said yesterday, if selling him brings them, I don't know, say it brought them 10 million quid in, for argument's sake, that it gives Everton a little bit of wiggle room to go and grab a couple of players on loan, or even, hey, who knows, even bring one on who they've got an iron.
He's worth more than that, is he not?
He's got 18 months left, Dave, on a contract. I know. Listen, I was saying 12.5 million the other day. I thought was around the right number, given he's a centre-back, played in the Premier League quite a few times. He's still a decent age.
Yeah.
And I do think there's something in there. He's powerful.
He's a good buy for somebody, I think.
I think so,
for the right club, I think he's a really, with that kind of money, if somebody was to get him for 10 million, I think he's a really good purchase.
See, I think someone like Sheffield United, if they could get him and just went, you're in our back, because Wilder does like a back three, you're our centre-back, starts every week. I think he'd develop.
I'd rather he didn't go to a team.
Oh, no, I would. No, don't get me wrong. Genoa, Genoa, hey, 777, were linked with them the other day, weren't they? And I'd rather him go there. And apparently, there was a report yesterday saying a couple of people close to him have let it kind of out there that he's interested in going abroad and trying, that kind of thing. He's had some interest from Italy, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had 2 or 3 clubs. So, no, I'd let him go. I think that's a calculated gamble that we have to take.
As long as it's like for money, as in permanent, like Dave said, just loaning him. There's no point. I may as well keep him.
And unless the theory would be loan till the end of the season with a view to buying him in the summer.
Yeah.
But that would have to be pretty much nailed on as good as it can be in terms of that summer deal. Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise, if it is just a loan deal and it potentially weakens what little we have for the rest of the season, that's what concerns me. That's all.
Yeah. No, I think we just need bodies, as you said before. This will be the last time. If we get through to the cup, there'll be another one midweek, and I think we play Newcastle away as well. But apart from that, I think we're pretty much weekend to weekend, aren't we, for the rest of the season?
Fulham, Newcastle, and that cup tie.
If we get to the 5th round. So I think we might just be able to cope with that. I mean, obviously, but it's the problem is if you lose Decore, which we have again, you don't have a backup for Decore. You have nobody. The manager still has not identified anyone who can play in that position.
The only one was sort of Gomez, now he's injured.
Yeah.
So that's where we are, and there's a lot of talk yesterday. Will we play 4-4-2 on Saturday? Tomorrow just to try it, because we've had other people in that role and it hasn't really worked. It's an FA Cup tie. You're at home. Why not? Why not try and put a little bit of give Luton something extra to think about? Will the manager do that? I don't know, but it'd be a good opportunity to do. And also, like you said yesterday, just look at the numbers. I mean, are you really going to try and shoehorn some, is Dan Juma coming in and then Harrison going back in the middle and McNeil's playing on the other side? Or do you go, Dan Juma looks like that might happen, he goes out the door, say, do we just not even bother with him tomorrow and play better?
It's a real pity, isn't it? I mean, Everton had an under-21s game this week in the International Cup, and it's just not a shame, obviously, but if only there was just someone who really stood out in the game and said
Dobbin done all right the other night.
No, but we already know he's part of it. But wouldn't it be great if there was someone, because there's no one, is there, that we're really talking about, that we're excited about? We sold everybody that we were excited about, and I know Dobbin's already in. Well,
Stanley Mills would have been one, but he's obviously been on loan and got an injury, he's out for the season.
But I still don't think anyone I still don't think Stanley Mills or Lewis Warrington really have excited me when I've watched them. I would love to see a young lad where people go, oh my God, did you just see what that, Okaronko, someone like that, oh, did you see what he did? Oh God, I hope the manager's having a little look at them. As we have in the past, where Anthony Gordon comes in the under-21s and straight away scoring goals, and he's jumped over the under-18s. And it's just a real shame that we haven't got someone, because if we did, they'd be in the squad now. And obviously Tom Cannon, if we didn't have to sell him, would be part of that as well. And that's another part of what's been going on at the football club, is that all the young talent is that to be sold, and there's just nobody there ready to take over and say, I'll be the person, I'll come in, and that's the real shame of it. And we've always had that through our time. Always had that one player who's knocking on the door saying, or people are excited about, and even if it's like faux excitement. Even if it's the kind of excitement where you've heard good stories, but actually if you go and watch them, they're not. And we've seen a couple of them, haven't we, over the time?
Yeah.
It's just a shame there's not someone like that out there at the moment that can just generate that excitement in the fan base.
Tom Cannon.
Who? Easy for you to say.
Yeah, exactly. Tom Cannon. Tom Cannon looks really good at the minute. Really, really good.
Yeah,
Leicester watched him the other night, and I mean, he just looks really sharp. Dare I say it? He looks actually like a younger Vardy.
Yeah, and that's
in terms of his, he's just got that ruthless streak about him.
Ask Connor Cody about him.
He'll be one that will really. It'll come back to not bite us, because I don't think we were under. I think we had to sell him. But he is one where I think on one hand, the Ellis Sims money was like, oh my God, I can't believe someone paid that much money. Genuinely.
Yeah.
And we've seen that so far with him. He's done
not really worked, does it?
Whereas Tom Cannon will be the one that people go, we should have got double for him.
Wouldn't surprise me if Everton went back for him though in the future.
I don't think we'll have the facilities.
Big man.
No. He's at a club that it's not like he's at a club that won't be back in the Premier League, isn't he? So he'll be playing Premier League football soon, and I think anyone who wanted him then would be looking at. I really do. I hope there's a sell on in there. I really do.
Or a buyback. One of them. There's got to be.
There won't be a buyback. We're not that clever.
No, that is true. Well, let's see if we can. Let's see what happens, because obviously you've got a chance to get into the 5th round of the FA Cup. And obviously then there's a game of Fulham on Tuesday, which, just very quickly, Dave, is a tough game, isn't it? They're decent. Well, they're good at home, aren't they? And it'll be a tough game.
Yeah, absolutely. They are. They're tricky, and, Marco's got them playing really well. And, they've got a bit of guts about them as well, Fulham, which is something you never used to say about them. So, it's not going to be easy at all. We know that. We're very familiar with that side at the minute, so tough game, but we've got to get through them. And we've got a tough few games coming up. Obviously Luton aside, I mean, they'll be up for Saturday, by the way. They'll be really up for Saturday, without a doubt. Because this is a big stage for that club. And so that'll be tough. Fulham will be tough, Spurs, and then City, so I mean, it
doesn't get any easier.
Doesn't get any easier, does it?
But it might after City. I mean, it does after City. Well, literally does after
City. It does after City. Yes,
does after City.
Right,
just right now, I mean, in ascending order, it's getting more difficult.
Well, that's why it's important, though, not to focus on a game after Luton, is it? You've got to just go one game at a time. That's what the manager does. And anything could happen. You could pick a team on Saturday where you're like, I don't want to get players injured for Tuesday, and get players injured for Tuesday by literally doing that. So it's he has to just take one game at a time, doesn't he? And he doesn't make excuses. That's fair play to him. He never moans. He just gets on with it. This is football. We'll play other teams that mightn't have their strongest sides. That's what's part of football, and he's got all that experience. And I think we are lucky to probably have that kind of manager at this time in our. If ever there was a manager that fitted the situation, I think it is Sean Dyche. You reeled off all those managers before, and a lot of them were just wrong place, wrong time for a lot of them, or wrong owner. But certainly Sean Dyche does seem to grasp exactly what's going on, and
it's temperament's right as well. I think
absolutely.
And you can see that, as you say, after a game, win, lose or draw, and even, as I say, if it's a negative situation, poor result, injuries, etc., as you say, he's very much like, no, this is where we are. We get on with it and we fight another day. And he just seems to have a largely, certainly in terms of his public-facing persona, largely positive outlook for me. And I think that, given the situation with our club at the minute, I think that's absolutely crucial, because there's plenty of managers that would sulk and just wouldn't perform under these conditions and would walk. And I think you're absolutely right. I think he's the right man at the right time.
And we talked about Klopp, and we talked about one man. Maybe that's not that common now. One man ruling over a club, and Klopp's had to do that. I don't know whether Dyche wants to do that, but I feel like he has to do that at their football club. And him and Kevin Fell will have to be everything for this football club, don't they? In tandem, they have to work together and make sure they're plotting the right course. And it's not going to be easy. But I know Julia Bold's got the new interview with him today on her podcast
Sounds,
on the BBC Sounds, But and I've just heard a little clip of it before. And he was talking about the Everton, his flag, and he was just like, I haven't even seen me flag. There's a flag of me in the Gladys Street. It's just like he's so detached from everything that it's all about the football, and he doesn't see a lot of that stuff. So, but you're right, Dave. I think there's a few times where I would have liked him to have seen him got angry about situations. But you know what? In the long term, that mightn't have been exactly what we needed. You know, he is the calm head, isn't he? He is the fella after the game who can make the joke. And again, I've not always like that. Certainly at Anfield, I would love to have him to come out and given the referee both barrels after they should have had a sending off. But the longer term is that he knows he has to stay on a certain side of people, and he has to keep that calmness and not make the wrong headlines when there's so many headlines about the football club.
Yeah.
You don't want to add to that, do you? You don't want to add to that the way people look at the football club. And I think the one, and I don't think Arteta was wrong in what he said, but I do think when Arteta made that outburst against Newcastle, for Arsenal, I think people started looking at him going, "Oh, you're just a big baby," and maybe the media looked at him a little bit different after that. That he didn't. I mean, I thought he was well within his rights.
No, he was.
But I do think the media started treating him as in like you're not in control here. You're not in control of the situation.
They also, often that kind of reaction can also be, indicative of pressure and pressure getting to you.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that, whether he does feel the pressure or the pressure ever does get to him and he has sleepless nights at home, we'll never know. But, the one thing that Dyche does never portray is that kind of character or that kind of, as if he's rattled or anything.
Yeah.
Which is good. And yeah, I think you're right. I mean, yeah, there's times when, you want him to come out and give it loads, but ultimately it's about keeping everybody positive, and to fight another day, and that's what he seems to do very well. So yeah, listen, I wouldn't, in terms of where we are in this stage in life with the club, I wouldn't swap him for anybody just now.
Fair play. Let's move on.
I mean, I might swap him for Simeone, but
yeah,
well, okay.
Pep. That's swapping for probably.
I don't think Pep would cope at Everton.
No.
What for the rest of the season? No chance.
I don't think Pep would cope. I think Pep would be.
He won't be.
He'd be doing like Cantona doing the seagulls follow the trawler kind of stuff. But after about 3 weeks,
I could see Pep doing a Cantona at the family enclosure, just jumping in when someone says, "Hey Pep, sort it out, lad." Just Pep flying through the air into the family enclosure, kicking off. My missus said, just moving on,
fair play.
To randomness, but. My missus brought something up the other day, and I said I'd talk about it on here because it did make me laugh, and I did think, you are right. Basically, my daughter needs a new passport. So she went into the post office. Boo. Yeah. She went into the post office to send the passport off, right? So she went in. How much is that? The woman behind it, whatever, £2.85 or something.
For a passport?
To send it off.
Oh, sorry.
Right? 120 quid, isn't it? Or something. But the woman then said, £7.85 will guarantee you get there tomorrow. So my missus said,
what a stamp for?
So what happens with the £2.85? Yeah. Well, £5 gets it there in the next 24 or next 36 hours or something. £7.85 guarantees it tomorrow.
Guarantees it.
So my missus was like, what about the £2.85? Yeah, that'll get you there, but the £7.85 guarantee. Well, what's the £2.85? Are they not guaranteeing that it gets there? And why is £7.85 guaranteeing it? Yeah. Long story short, my missus went, I'll go with the £2.85.
That's what I'd have done.
Yeah. Passport was there the next day. Got a notification text. So in this country, have we been just getting ripped off? Do you want this? But I'll tell you, if you pay double, I'll guarantee it gets. Where's it going? No. If they're not guaranteeing it getting there. So I'm giving you something that you telling me it's not going to where I want it to go.
It's a time thing though, isn't it? It's, I think what they're saying is that there are certain, like in your instance, whether that passport arrived there tomorrow or on Monday, if it was posted today, is not the end of the world. However, I think from a business perspective, when you've got documents that absolutely need to arrive tomorrow,
FedEx them.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You pay extra for a guarantee that says it's going to be there.
You say that, Dave, but I
actually know the. No,
but you can give me the answer, but I'd still think you're making me pay more just for it to have the same outcome.
But I actually know the answer to this because I was a postman.
Yeah, you were.
So I know the answer to this.
You can give me the answer, but...
So basically, if you just send a letter, right, or anything, it'll end up in the big sort.
Yeah,
right?
I get that.
If it's like one of the shiny ones, it ends up on a different desk. Where the fella walks up to you and goes, "You must deliver this." Yeah, because I remember seeing the fear in the fella's eye when I had to actually deliver a birthday card from the Queen.
Yeah, I get
for
that.
somebody's 100th birthday.
Yeah, and that's
and he
quite
was like,
important.
you must deliver this first. And I was like, yeah, I will. And like there is a separate table, but it is just a big. If you go on a sorting off, you'd understand that it's like a.
I did work in the thing. Christmas. You know, when you should get when I was at uni, you get like 4 weeks before Christmas sorting. That it was a bit mad.
I've got like a checkered history with the mail, because I was watching the program the other night. I actually watched it all in one go, and it. I know Post Office and Royal Mail are different things, but people think they're the same things.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
But it reminded me of my first ever brush with the Royal Mail / the Post Office. So I actually went to Royal Mail for my work experience when I was a kid. I was in school. I remember I'd been away for a couple of weeks. Went to Brownlow, Coppers Hill. And all the good jobs had gone, and they had like, so Royal Mail, it's one of those things, it's a pillar of the community, isn't it? So you think work experience, that's where your mum would want you to go, because you know what, keep your nose clean. And you might get a job.
Yeah.
I was sacked in 2 hours. Right.
2 hours?
Right. And
that is impressive.
I'll explain.
How do you get sacked in 2 hours?
Well, you Will Ferrell in Elf.
So I'll explain. Right.
Go on.
So,
just all dancing on the table.
This whole thing reminds of just the ineptness of the whole place and the woman who actually run it. And I think the woman who dealt with me actually is the woman who ended up running it.
Yeah,
I'd just seen the same kind of thing. So we went in, there was 5 of us.
Yeah.
And they were like, you're going to be doing this. And like, you know, like it was like, you're coming here today and tomorrow you'll be doing this. And then on Thursday, you'll be at a sorting office and you've got to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. People will now be saying, yeah, of course you got sacked, yeah.
So you could have just gone straight to it, though, because you wouldn't have gone to bed by that time.
Well, I was a child.
Child labour.
Yeah,
no wonder the Post Office are a disgrace. So, take her CBE back now.
Yeah, so they were like, you know, you're going to watch this safety video. And the woman got, she said, I've just got to pop out to get some. She comes back. And this video, this VHS video of the working practices of the Royal Mail had gone missing. And she's scrambling around and she can't find it. And in the end, she says, one of you's taken this video. And we're like, what? Yeah. Why would we have taken...
Gonna pirate this.
What are we going to do? Like, you know, put a sticker over it saying, you know, WrestleMania 12 or something, record over it.
Oh, my God.
So this video went missing. She's scrambling around. She can't find it. She accuses us all of stealing it. Yeah. And then she's like, whoever can, you know, one of you needs to own up. I'm like, no one robbed the video. Anyway, dismissed. You'll never get a job in the Royal Mail. Really? This goes all on your records. You'll never get a job working here. So the next day, I am literally, you know, my mum's got hold of me. Yeah, she knows I didn't do it, of course. Takes me to school. That's the way my mum was. Headmaster, and you know, straight into the door. Yeah. This is what happened to my son. You better get this sorted out. Within about an hour, I think the woman had found the video in like literally the room she'd come from. She hadn't brought it with her, and the woman had to sit there in front of like 5 kids who were like, "Well, we didn't want to be there anyway," and made up.
Yeah. And apologise.
Had to apologise. It was bad.
That's excruciating.
It was bad. Like, you know, the parents and the kids who were just made up, didn't have to go to that 5 o'clock sort, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
and it was excruciating.
Did you move it? Did you move it?
What?
Did you move it? So you didn't have to go. Are you sure?
Honestly, I never.
Honestly. Did you?
Never went near. Listen, my attention span of being in Copperfield would not have got anywhere near.
I heard when I said this woman wants us to watch a video. I was just thinking, no way will Ped have watched that. He'd have lost attention after about 4 seconds.
If it'd been like something good, if it'd been like, you know, the Goonies or something.
It's not going to be how you sort a letter ain't keeping your attention.
You know what? So basically, they said this was like Tuesday night, or it might have even been the Wednesday, and it was only for a week. And they were like, right, we've got these posts you want to do, and we were like, no. And they're like, well, what are you going to do? And like, they went, well, you can follow the caretaker around for the week in school if you want. So we become work experience. Me and this other lad become work experience caretakers, and all we did, and it was brilliant. So when everyone else was in lessons, we just went in the sports hall and played footy.
Yeah, well,
it was amazing. Class. We just played footy against each other for a week.
The greatest work experience
it
ever.
Was. I'd missed. The only thing was I'd missed out on Everton because I'd been away and missed the opportunity to get a work experience at Everton in Belfield, which I was a bit gutted about. Worse, yeah. But that was my. But then I ended up going to work for Royal Mail. But isn't it a good job I didn't have that on my record?
It is a good job, but again, it still doesn't really make me feel any better about them saying, I'm going to deliver this, but if you pay me extra, I'll make sure it gets there.
But that's how
you should be getting it.
That's how they work. It's basically.
Well, what other things? I know Dave's got to go, but what other things do we pay thinking we're getting a better value for when we know quite obviously they're just blagging us.
I can't think of another example.
Next day delivery.
There's
a lot. If you go on Amazon, sometimes it says we can guarantee this next day if you pay a £5, and then underneath it says you will get this free tomorrow by clicking. And there's loads of it.
And people will just click that, won't they? And go, I need it, I'll pay it. You know, I get it if it's something like, you know, in that case of a passport, say I'm going away and I need that passport tomorrow and I can't go.
Haven't the Royal Mail basically created an extra tier of payment by being so bad at their job?
That's it. But this is it. It's like saying, do you want a cup of coffee in Costa? Yeah. If you pay an extra £1, I'll get it to you 4 seconds. You'll have a cup. I'll give it 15 seconds earlier.
And it'll be guaranteed to be warm.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's kind of like things you'd expect, surely.
Isn't this like people who pay extra to be in the park end? Do you know what I mean? No, I mean like you're sitting in the park end.
No obstructions.
And you're paying. I haven't got any obstructions. I watch the same crap as the park end. Okay, you know what I mean? I'm just isn't it the same?
Do you know this isn't really slightly different, but you know what kind of boils my piss is fast track tickets.
Oh, Baz knows all about
it. Hate that.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, there's just something fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
About that, I think, as a human trait, whereby you go to the amusement park, wherever it is, it doesn't matter because they all do it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you're queuing up. The queue time is the queue time. It might be 40 minutes. It might be an hour. It might be 2.5 hours. Who knows? Who knows? Depends how busy it is and how popular the ride is.
Yeah, it's become very tiered. I was in Disney Paris in, what was it, October now. And I mean, I must admit, I do get fast passes for it, but it's for a different reason. We get front of the queue, me and my missus.
Because he thinks he's a celebrity. Carry on,
you know, we just, you know, I am. But there was a family, and they just went like 5 all-day fast passes and just pulled out this credit. I'd never seen the colour of this kind of credit card before.
One from the moon.
And they were like, you want 5? And they were like, yeah. Just passed over the credit. And it was just like, that's it, isn't it?
You see, Disney,
it's a different tier for these.
Disney used to do this thing where you could get fast passes, but everyone was equal. They were nothing. They were free. Yeah. You all had the same opportunity. You could do 3 in a day.
So it's like playing your Joker type
that was it. And once you got one, you couldn't get another one for an hour and all that. So everyone was kind of equal.
Yeah.
If you got there early enough, you'd get the fast passes. Fine, no problem.
Yeah.
If you had a fast pass and I couldn't get one because I'd used one, then that's fine. There's no issue. But
that's
now
different.
They've introduced Universal Studios in Florida. Did it first with the Express Pass. And I used to hate the people. Now Disney have done it, and you do just look and go.
You can't even get on rides without it now.
No.
Well, here's one.
Dave has got. Dave, have you got to go?
I've got to go.
Right, we're going to sub you for our learned friend over there who doesn't look happy, but we're going to sub you anyway. So, Dave, brilliant. Take it easy.
Oh, sorry. Was that a review? Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, brilliant.
Well, just letting you go now because we'll bring Ned in.
No, it's fine. Yeah, no, I've got to go. Right, have a lovely weekend.
Take care, Dave. Ta-ra, mate.
Okay, we're back. I was just before Dave. I wanted Dave to be part of it.
Go on.
Don't know the one I ate, right? Have you ever ordering, like, do you ever order tickets for the theatre or gigs, and you pay for it all, and then they go, a handling fee? What's a handling fee?
Yeah. Well, that's another one.
What's a handling fee?
That is another one. You've got to get you were handling the tickets anyway.
I've paid for these tickets, and then just because someone handles them, and I don't know what goes on in the handling stage of things, I have to pay more money for them.
But you still pay a handling fee, even though they're sent to my phone. So what's a handling fee?
What are you handling? Isn't that somebody's job though? Like, it's like when you go to America, right? And don't get me wrong, I have no issue with tipping, but tipping as part of someone's salary is disgraceful, and it's become a big thing in America.
But I get it.
Pay people properly so we don't have handling charges.
We all tip and tips. You tip anyway, but the reality is, if you actually break it down, though. You're getting paid to do a job. Why am I giving you more money just to do your job? And then you start going, oh, should I tip that? Feel guilty if I don't tip that. I don't. And some, you know what I mean?
I don't mind tipping But it's the
a tip used to be right when the person serving you was incredible,
good service,
and they were great, and and you go, you know what? Let's give them a little tip. Now it's expected whether they come
part of their salary,
lash the bowl at you, food or whatever.
We've got, I won't even name them, but someone we know went to America recently, and they went somewhere, and it was basically because there was two of them, because there was only two of them. It was something like a $20 tip was basically
more than that, I think.
It might have been $40 was put onto their bill.
That was it. And when they asked about it, they said, "We're not serving you." Then. Absolutely mad. Ned, very quickly before we finish.
Is that it?
That's it. Because I've just realised you've got other stuff to do.
Surely there's a question.
No, there's a question. I want to ask Ned. How do you feel about not only tipping? Because I mean, you once famously tipped a street vendor instead of buying people drinks who were gasping in 97 degrees heat in Washington, D.C.
Just the humidity.
In the humidity. What do you think about paying extra just to get the job done, basically? So, like, you know...
Ned's on the other side of this, remember, because he does work in the gig.
No, well, that's fine, but it's like you're getting paid to play.
Yeah.
And then it's like do you put a hat out as well in front and go, yeah, put...
No.
You know what I mean?
He's got a hat.
If people offer me a tip and I'm still playing, I'll offer them a song. So I feel like
okay, so it's an exchange of goods. Yeah. But what do you think about like Pez just said there? Pay this £5 and I'll deliver your parcel for you. But you're supposed to be delivering it anyway, mate. That's why I'm buying it.
Well, that's it. It's getting delivered anyway. So I'm always just like, I don't need it. When I've got it, I'll be like, well, that extra 2 days that I waited wasn't actually so bad. Like, I ordered this watch last week.
Yeah.
And
why is he just put? I ordered this watch.
Just imagine if it wasn't on.
Yeah.
I ordered this watch last week.
Yeah.
And it was £5 delivery.
Did you pay it?
So hang on, you're telling me
it was £5 next day delivery. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If I'd got it next day, I would have had it for the footy game on Thursday. And
right.
What do you need a watch for?
That would be nice
for footy.
So I can track me.
Not to track it.
So hang on, let me get this right. So to buy the watch and have it delivered would it cost you £8?
Oh, £5.
No, to buy the watch and have it delivered would it cost you £8?
No, the watch wasn't £3. It was 50. So it would have cost me an extra £5. And I like my £50 watch. Does what it needs to do, and I don't need no silly Samsung one.
Listen, I'm just trying to educate you, get you through life.
Let's finish with this question for Ned, right? Because we've got him on all that. Where would you land if you could be a fly on the wall? Don't say any islands.
Where would you land if you could be a fly on the wall?
Can I do that?
Whose wall? Whose wall?
Can I do anything, or do I just listen to things?
What would you do?
What the flies do? Flies don't turn up and start charging your handling fees.
There's one thing flies do which you don't want to land on.
No, that's one thing, yeah. But if you could go somewhere as a fly, right? And of course you're going to listen because that's why you go. That's the whole point of the question. You're not going to do stuff. Do you know what I mean?
It's really hard because I don't want to find out anything I don't really want to find out. So I'd go to a random person's house and just get to know them.
What?
Just, like flying in the royal family and they're all just like...
They're not random though, are they?
No, but like...
You wouldn't go... Would you go to Dave in bloody Selwood Avenue and just land on his wall?
I'd go to like a family that all sit in the living room and talk, so I'd be like... I'd feel like I'm one of them.
That's just Gogglebox.
Gogglebox of the royal family.
Yeah, but if I'm a fly, I can't watch Gogglebox, can I? I don't have Netflix. I'm a fly. Flies don't have television.
It's on Channel 4.
It's on Channel 4. And you'd be in the room. What you could do is fly into a room where someone's watching Gogglebox. And you'd see it. And watch it.
Oh, I'd do that. I'd fly into PC World.
So if you could go...
But they shut at 8.
They do.
And it's on at 9.
I'll switch the telly back on. And
you're a fly?
I can still switch the telly on.
No, hang on. So if you could go and be on any wall, you would just basically go to either PC World or just a random family's house, so you could be in the room with them.
There's not much I can do. It's not like I'm a wasp man. I can sting someone.
But we're not. I think you've missed the point of this. Right, can I just interject? Where
would you go?
Either GCHQ,
okay,
or the head of MI5, MI6 in London.
Oh, okay.
Why'd you do that?
See, this is where me and you differ. This is where me and you differ. See, they are like places where you would learn things about what's going on in the world right now.
Well, because they'll see a fly and their instincts, because they're like MI5 agents, they'll go spy and they'll swat you.
No, they genuinely wouldn't.
All I'll say is no swatting was available. No flies were hurt in the making of this question.
That's not happening. I'm not. They are people who work for agencies. They are part of the service. They are not. They're not like Mr. Miyagi with a pair of chopsticks, are they?
That would be.
I think you've just gone overboard.
I'll bring it a little. That is a brilliant one because you will get. I mean, that is
good info.
Right, I'm gonna go.
Sell it to the Russians.
Because it's got an Everton theme. I'm going into the Premier League headquarters. I'm going into Little Dicky Master's office when they're discussing Everton because I want to hear how we're discussed.
I'd hate that.
How we're seen. Yeah, but it's information gathering.
Isn't the worry?
I know, but you can't do anything about it.
But isn't that's a good point. See, that's what I was just thinking then. You'd be like, I know it's what I'm thinking, but like you'd be like, no, you want to get it out. You'd be like the little fly in the fly going, help me, help me.
But we're coming back out. We're coming back.
Okay, so you're going to go back to the machine.
Coming back. Whereas you will come back from 37 Shelwood Avenue and go, Dave and Gwen are great, and the kids.
Know what he should have said if he was like me and you? If you could be Ant-Man for the day, and you could go and you could be there, and then you could go large again to your normal size.
Well, that would
have helped your situation, wouldn't it? I think you were more concerned about being just a fly.
Just a fly and getting swatted. You went straight to the negative, the worst. Point. You went straight to being hurt.
If I was Ant-Man, I'd probably commit crimes, I wouldn't lie.
Okay.
Why?
I just would.
We've learned in the last.
You could do literally anything you wanted
in the last kind of like 20 hours. We've learned some.
Anyone who's on Toffee TV Premium and watched Round the Tower will discover the dark side of Ned. It's coming. It's going to be a documentary. The dark side.
Maybe we'll have a premiere AOB, which is just literally the dark side of Ned.
I'm like Anakin. I got a lot of anger built in me.
I think you have.
And the fly me is going to let it all out.
The fly in you.
The fly me.
Fly
to the moon and let me. Okay, right. Let's leave it there before he incriminates himself. There you go. Ned. There is too much Ned. That's us done for the week. Make sure you like, subscribe, 5-star review it, share it, do all of that stuff, and we will see you next week. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye.